that's how we expect in 2 years from now, to interact with our tools. And then as these tools become, again, less predictable or more autonomous, right? We need to have, the enterprise need to have a centralized way to govern, right? One, what kind of agents do we actually trust or not, right? Who's behind this agent? What vendor created it? What's the guardrails for it? What can it do? It cannot do. Again, who owns it? Who's responsible for it? Do we have a human in the loop where we need it to be? Does the agent have more permissions than users who are using it, right? A lot of questions who are, less relevant maybe in the, in the old world, right? And much, much more relevant and pressing nowadays. So yeah, enterprises are really kind of grasping, the magnitude of the challenge, and kind of, getting more and more of these needs in place as they're adopting more and more. We're seeing a lot of adoption around engineering, R&D, the digital developers, of course. Another area we're seeing a lot is the customer success departments, really adopting these technologies very much. And I think, our a responsibility right now with our customers, right, is to go on this journey, right, and really build for them according to what we're hearing, their challenges are, right. So that's kind of, again, it's like the same vision, the same mission, but really kind of going on this exciting, I think, IT journey that we as a generation are having, right, with our customers.
Yeah, I think what's also very interesting too from the kind of business side of this equation is the gap for people being able to be, call it market leaders, used to be kind of built on whether or not your company's people were able to work faster and more effectively and optimally than the next competitor in the space. Now, with agentic and with this kind of, call it, I don't know, maybe virtualization of the workforce, the scope of what you have to do to be better than the competition here is shrunk exponentially. So now it's like everyone is clawing for every single inch that they can get, which drives people, you could be sitting in a chair, to try and create other agentic solutions so that they can win. Like I picture this almost an arms race going on in business now that is powered entirely by agentic, and it worries the hell out of me because it is a giant risk on a whole lot of levels. Like you said, insider threat, intellectual property, spillage, shared secrets, all that stuff. I think people really have to understand just how big of an issue and risk we're looking at. Is that a fair statement?
I think it is. I think it is. However, I'm more optimistic maybe, and I'm actually very excited about it. When people started riding trains, there were many religious groups who said that, if you ride a train, you'll get demons in your blood, and humans are not supposed to, go over, more than 50 miles an hour or whatsoever. Like, we're not built to it biologically, right? And obviously, trains were really a disaster to start with. So, right, the accidents were, astronomic, and happened quite often, and it was, and when you look at cars, right, before, seat belts and brakes, and, things that really became more and more sophisticated. So it's just the same thing, right? This is the new technology, right, that we as a society, we as, enterprises are riding this crazy train, right? And I think, we're mature enough. I think that's, the lucky part, right?